You're watching Queen City Collaborative Rebel Radio. I'm your host and CEO, Gwendolyn Bork. Let's not waste any time and get right down to it. Hi, everybody. My name is Gwendolyn Bork. I'm the CEO and Impact Strategist for Queen City Collaborative. This is really where I merged my talents as a financial advisor and my focus on impact investing by showcasing people in our community, business owners, entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals, showcase what they're doing, right? So social impact, cultural impact, environmental impact, these are strategies that have an effect, right, on our people and our earth. And this company that I have with me today, these two business owners, they're doing just that. So I'd like to welcome my very special guests, Lindsey and RJ Marvin. They're the owners of Barrel and Brine. It's a preservation and fermentation shop, we'll call it. And as according to RJ, it's ancient foods for modern tastes. All right, Marvin or Lindsey and RJ, how you guys doing today?
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. So these two people, what's the address of your shop?
We're at 155 Chandler Street, Suite 3 in Buffalo, New York, 14207.
Where's that? What's the main street though that it's off of? I always forget how I got there.
You can get on Chandler off of Military.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
One street over from Amherst, like by the Wegmans.
That's it. Okay, because I think I was in between Amherst and Military. Okay, so guys, this place, I'm on the board, at the time, I was on the board for NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, and we wanted to just find different places where, we could just participate in something brand new. And this particular organization, these two guys, they're doing an awesome job, something very unique and delicious, I must say. So as we get into like our podcast today, I'll just say that very attentive, super unique, really good food, really good drinks, and you guys can talk about that. And to know that what they did in the midst of this health crisis just really makes me want to support them and lift them up even more as we approach this new phase of a business economy ultimately coming up. So Lindsey and RJ, what do you guys do over at Barrel and Brine? Give us a little intro.
We do a little bit of everything. So originally when we started, it was in 2015, and we opened in a little corner store. I think it was like 800 square feet, super tiny. And there, RJ had left the culinary industry to kind of do his own thing and focus heavily on preservation and fermentation. So when we opened, RJ was making pickles and kimchi, sauerkrauts, and we were basically just jarring them up and selling them out the corner store, direct to consumer. And then a couple weeks into opening, I launched the kombucha program, and it became really popular. And all of a sudden, stores wanted to carry it as wholesale, which was amazing. But we outgrew our space pretty quickly. So the opportunity came for us to move to Chandler, to a whole brand new area. So if you're familiar with it, Chandler Street is just, it was just empty buildings. There was really nothing there. And the development company came in and totally refinished all of the street. So there's a bunch of new businesses popping up. And in that new space, it really allowed us to focus on the food side of it. So instead of just wholesaling everything that we make, we can really utilize it in the cafe and show it off. Like you guys, when you came in and sat down and ate, the menu it's pretty out there, and it's definitely got something for everyone.
Oh, it definitely does. We had pizza, pickle pizzas. What else do we have? Give it because you had a good memory. I was like, oh yeah, I do remember having that.
I feel like you guys had the Italian beef, so that was like on a huge hoagie roll with what were we putting on top of it?
Giardiniera, pickled banana peppers.
Yeah.
I mean, the cafe is really cool because I think, ferments in general. pickle, everybody kind of has an idea of a pickle, you know, it's on the side of a burger or whatever. You know, but there's so much other stuff you can do with pickles and ferments. And before we opened the cafe, like we knew that somebody might go to Wegmans and buy a jar of our sauerkraut, and then they're going to take it home, and then they're going to say, well, now what do I do, right?
Yeah.
How do I eat this just out of the jar? And although it's fine out of the jar, but we wanted to show people what you can do with the products at home, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, pickle pizza, nothing we make at the shop isn't anything that you can't make at home, you know, pretty easily. And that's really the main goal, is just to kind of show the versatility. Is that even a word?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh,
Versatility. That's it.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, you had like you had the charcuterie boards, and then so I mean, for people that kind of if they're not familiar with that particular area, I think there's right across from your building is that one brewery too.
There's Thin Man Brewery in Tapo, and then there is
In Tapo, yeah.
there's a cider hall too.
So you are tucked into, I think, a very up and coming little development right now, with an opportunity to really grow and expand and, you know, showcase what you guys do. There's that big courtyard, you know, around where you guys are, and I know you had big plans for that. So, I mean, let's talk about that. Before this whole, you know, coronavirus, the Rona hit, you know, where were you guys at, and what was the plan for the summer?
Well, so when we opened, what day is it today? 22nd. Our anniversary was yesterday, actually. Our 1 year anniversary of being on Chandler was yesterday. So we took the first year that we were open pretty slow. We didn't want to overdo it because we were still trying to manage the growth of our wholesale. We were still trying to manage what works and what doesn't work as far as the cafe side is concerned. So, you know, maybe, you know, in December, we really sat down and started thinking about what we were going to do in the summer. So, you know, Lindsey had a kombucha festival planned right in that courtyard. The courtyard's a perfect size to have tents set up, multiple vendors. You probably fit 15 vendors in there. We had ideas of, you know, having musicians come and play, and just all these different things that were not only going to benefit us as a business, but it would benefit Big Man and Cider Hall and everything else. But we were really just focusing on saying, here we are, like now we're really going to focus on it. And we just shit the bed. We couldn't do that anymore, you know? So.
Yeah. And you had another major deal, you know, lined up in the works too, right?
Yeah.
For the kombucha?
Yeah, our business model has always been a little strange because Lindsey makes the kombucha, and then I make pickles and ferments, and sometimes they don't go to the same places. So what we ended up doing was focusing on just having the kombucha sold through a separate major distribution company. And as soon as we, you know, signed those papers and shook the hands, they purchased about 2 pallets of kombucha, and that was like maybe 2 weeks before we were required to shut down. So now that, and then on top of that, we were in talks with another company that was going to start getting our products from Buffalo all the way down to New York City, some parts of Vermont, some parts of Massachusetts, maybe a little bit in the mid-Atlantic, and that was set to start April 1st. You know, so on the 27th of March, we basically shut everything down completely. So we, you know, we had all this product, and we were like, this is it. You know, this is what we've been working for. We're going to finally start expanding throughout the state, and then eventually kind of representing Buffalo, hopefully nationally at some point. And everything just went whoop, right down to just focusing on what we could do, you know. Mm-hmm. And once we decided to go strictly takeout maybe 2 or 3 days before it was required to go to takeout. So we already had that plan in place. And then we just shut everything down. And you know, I'm like, all of my friends work in the restaurant. I've been a chef for 25 years. Everybody I know works in a restaurant in some capacity. And I knew that we could either go home and just obsess about what we cannot control, or we could just focus on what we could control. And that was just making food for people. You know, we knew that the schools were going to close. We had already established free lunches for school kids a couple days before schools closed. And we knew that for some families, you know, a child might get 1 or 2 meals every day at school. And for some families, that might be 2 or 3 kids. And that's an extra, that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars that a family now has to somehow find to feed their kids. And they're not making money because they can't go to work, you know? And for me and for Lindsey, we've always understood that as soon as we opened a business, as soon as we signed a lease, we became ambassadors to whatever community our business was in. We became, whether it was, you know, it's an unspoken agreement in my eyes that you become a leader of that community. So what can you do? You know, it wasn't about pivoting to try to figure out how we could make a shit ton of money, you know, and obviously that, I mean, our situation's different from other people, but I know school teachers that were just like, what are we going to do? Like like these kids have no food.
Yeah, we went from weirdly thinking so globally, like we wanted so badly to represent Buffalo in a different light with food that was healthy and nutritious and representing our city, you know, and on this huge, like big global sort of scale, to being like, we got to make sure we can feed our neighbors. And literally the kids that that hang out and play basketball, like up the street, and they, you know, they take a bus to school. Like, how are they going to go and get these free lunches if they can't, you know, get there? What's the right thing for them? And then it opened up kind of this domino effect of issues with, you know, we had nonprofits calling us and saying, well, we have people who are over the age of 18. They're getting turned away from these free lunch programs at schools because they're too old. And, you know, we had parents calling and saying, like, my kid has immunocompromised things. I can't leave my house. Can you deliver us the food? So at that point, we just stopped saying, like, what the food program was. And we were just saying, if you need food or you need anything, we'll do it. Just let us know.
Yeah, no questions asked. If somebody came up and they were like, I'm hungry, here's a bag of food.
Yeah.
You know? And Lindsey ended up driving to people's homes because of being immunocompromised, as she said. She's like, oh, this is a great idea. I really want to take advantage of this, but I can't leave the house. Well, where do you live? We'll bring food to you.
And thank God, like produce peddlers, they're basically a distro company from farms direct to people with CSA boxes.
Yeah.
And they brought us a ton of, you know, like apples and bananas and things like that. So we kind of make these little grocery CSA packs to bring to people who, you know, were afraid to go grocery shopping.
Yeah. It was I don't think that doing good for the community should even be a question, right? The fact that so many people thought it was newsworthy was weird to me, you know, because it's just, I mean, that's what you do, right? I mean, that's the business we're in. We're in the business of sorry, I'm swearing. We're in the business of hospitality. Mm-hmm. At its absolute core is nourishing people. Our business being fermenters and people that are deal in preservation. That whole idea comes from community. Communities got together and they preserved the food so the community could survive the toughest times of the year, and then it could prosper when the next spring and the summer comes. How would we not carry on what we do every single day during hard times, like and it's crazy. And of course, the idea, it wasn't scary to say we're just going to give free food to people, because we live in what I consider the greatest city in the country, right? As soon as we said we're going to give free food to people, produce peddler said here, apples, grape juice, granola, bread hive said here, bread, Buffalo cheese trader said here, some cheese.
Guys Mechanics even gave us masks so we could go to those people's houses without them being afraid, you know. You couldn't find masks anywhere. It was like the toilet paper crisis. And they were like, we got you, just so you can, you know, feel safe and help them feel safe.
Yeah.
It's amazing what happens when, you know, you step into your purpose, you know, and your commitment, right? I mean, I'm with you guys. I've been in the not-for-profit space now for, you know, about 10 years. And you figure it out, you know. But unfortunately, I think people need that leadership. They're like, well, we want to help, but we don't know what to do. And until you have a visionary, someone's like, well, this is what we're going to do. Who can help? You know, then people start coming alongside of you. So it's good to hear that. Again, you weren't even really alone necessarily in all this. You had, you know, a bunch of other people helping and supporting you to, you know, fill these needs for these kids and people in the community. I think that's it's phenomenal, just to showcase our community. And I agree with you. We do live in the best city in the world. So. So I mean, where are we at now, guys? I mean, what with are you still helping people? Are you know, is the need still there? Are people kind of now on their feet with hopefully receiving unemployment benefits? I mean, that was for me, even personally, our non-for-profit. We're addiction prevention. I mean, we work with the youth in Lancaster and Depew, and our local food pantry, they had a huge uptick and they needed food. You know, so I reached out to my network, and that's how I got connected with Legislator Tadaro, and he hooked me up with, you know, Patillo, and Patillo had all those flash frozen meals, and we had $500 worth of meals donated to the, you know, the food pantry within that week, you know. But that was like in the very beginning. So where's the need now, and where's your focus now as far as stabilizing your future?
I think the need has definitely dropped off.
Yeah, I think once people could order from like Wegmans or wherever and pick up.
Yeah. Once
grocery pickup happened, all of a sudden I think their panic was sort of gone.
Yeah.
That initial panic of, oh my God, am I going to be able to get food? And I don't want to go inside of this grocery store.
Yeah.
Then we saw a decline.
Yeah. I mean, the first couple parents that came to pick up food for their kids were like literally shook. Like you could see in their face, they were like, I don't know what's going on. Like I have no idea what's going to happen, you know. But as that changed, you know, as people became more accustomed to what was happening, it definitely slowed down. Of course, I think that's something that will probably carry on well beyond this pandemic. You know, I think the idea of if somebody's hungry and they don't have food, I think the idea of not being able to find food is absurd to me, especially in a place that there's plenty of places to get food. So I think that's something we're going to carry on. But, you know, I think things are definitely changing for the better. And
yeah, I think now we're kind of like, we're like RJ was saying, we're still going to do the program as needed for people. And then we're kind of slowly as a business shifting to doing our pop-ups. So we do like barbecue pop-ups with Bare Bones Barbecue. And it's still like contactless, like you would pre-order online.
Yeah.
And then you select what time you want to pick up. You drive to our loading dock location at 170 Grove Street. And it's literally just, you know, you get your name, we come out, bring the food, put it in your trunk, close it, and you drive away.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our way right now of buffering everything, keeping, you know, us safe and keeping the people who want to enjoy some food safe too.
I think, you know, we get a lot of emails, a lot of texts and calls about if we're open, whether or not our space is open. And, you know, our inside cafe is, you know, maybe 1,000 square feet tops, if we were to have one table in the middle of the room that sat 4 people, there nobody else would be able to sit anywhere around. So unfortunately, due to the restrictions that are still in place for restaurants and bars, we still can't open our shop because there's just not enough room. So we're still hoping to kind of launch again, but I think by the time we do, the summer is probably going to be already over. So we're focusing mostly on, you know, as Lindsey said, the pop-ups. You can still find our product at Wegmans, Lexington Co-ops. Bread Hive has kombucha, and they sell our pickles and ferments. Produce Peddler still has our stuff. So Fresh Fix is another great option for people that are looking for CSA boxes and home delivery. We're still available there. So we're focusing on that, just getting production down, getting everything, getting everybody fed that needs food. You know, if you're looking for ferments, pickles, or kombucha, like, we're still making it. It's still out there.
I'm assuming like all of these places that carry your product, it's on your website. Is that a good assumption?
The website's currently under construction.
All right, no worries. Well, where else? Like, how else can people find you guys?
Following us on Facebook and
Okay.
Instagram, even more so than Facebook.
Yeah, when seasonal stuff comes out, we get a ton of messages all the time. Like, hey, do you got that weird thing I got? Like, for a very brief time, one time. If you want to know about seasonal stuff, if we have any specialty things going, people just message us on Instagram, and we usually let them know. But we post everything on there. If Bloody Mary mix is coming out, we'll post it on there and how to get it and where to find it, you know, all that good stuff.
Okay. So you guys are social media, you know, warriors. That's good.
Yeah, well, it kind of works well with what we do because we work so closely with local farms. So, like, you know, cherry season hits and we got all these cherries, and then we make Manhattan pickled cherries. By the time they're ready for you to purchase, they're probably really only going to be up for like 5 days, and then they're going to sell out. So we have to like be really aggressive with saying like, hey, this is available. Hurry up and get it while you can.
Yeah.
And then it's like the strict snooze lose policy. Because like when it's gone until next July, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, RJ.
A huge part of why we did this was because there's so many amazing farmers in the area. So although we have a core brand of items, you know, we have whatever 13 or 14 items that we make year round. There's been multiple times where a farmer has called us and said, hey, I have, you know, 900 pounds of grapes that I can't sell them. And we're like, yeah, we'll bring them over, and we'll make something with those grapes. And then once it's gone, it's gone. But yeah, the snooze lose policy is definitely it's definitely an effective Barrel and Brine.
We need to get a plaque made that like hangs in the shop when we open or something.
That's a great idea. I like. So I can appreciate that. You know, I grew up in the country, and you know, I worked on farms, and it's a hard business, you know, but you learn to be super resourceful. And you know, my dad, like, he was the canner, he canned everything, you know. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. I love the fact that you're utilizing local farms, local resources. You're taking care of our people. You know, I agree with you, RJ. You would think that this is just what you do. I think, unfortunately, maybe we've lost touch with taking care of each other, you know, and maybe hopefully throughout this crisis, people get back to our bare bones of just helping our neighbors out, helping each other out. And this is something that, you know, really, we move it forward. We take this with us forward, you know. So I commend you both on what you guys have done. I support you 100%. However I can help you in the future and get you back on, like, you know, just let me know. I'm a sounding board for you. And any last words, any last messages on, you know, you want to tell your people out there before we close?
Ooh. We're still here, you know, we're still open. Follow us online. That's the best thing that you could do. As far as support or anything like that, while we're closed, is, you know, follow us online. Just check for the pop-ups, because we still want to cook for people, and we're still doing it. So reach out. I mean, we like to hear people's stories. We like to talk to our guests, and we like to have conversations with people. ask us any, you know, what do I do with kimchi? What do I do with these pickles? And you know, we just really, really, really want to build a community around what we do, because that's the reason why we did it. So anytime anybody wants to hang out or talk, we're around.
That's good to know. Lindsey, you got anything, girl?
I would just say, you know, thank you to everybody who reached out during this. It was kind of unbelievable how many people wanted to help. Like exactly what you were saying. They were like, I want to help. I don't know how. Tell me what you need. And it was just amazing. In a time that was really scary and people could have gotten really like focused on self-preservation, everyone, you know, turned around and said like, how can I help? What can I do for you? And that just, I don't know, it just means the world to me. And I thought it was amazing. So, you know, hopefully we'll get to see everyone soon and feed everyone and get them some cocktails. But until then, like RJ was saying, the wholesale is there for you guys, and we can still feed you at the pop-ups.
Yeah, it's definitely important to remember to take care of each other first and foremost.
Yeah.
You know, I think we always said that helping people, it's kind of a lot like being at a dance in high school, where everybody wants to dance, but nobody wants to be the first person on the floor. So you just have to get on the floor, fucking dance around a little bit, and everyone else will be like, yeah, we're going to do this too.
That's
you know,
great.
so stay positive and take care of each other. It's really good.
And thanks for having us on to talk about it too.
Yeah, well, no, thanks for taking time out, guys. I appreciate that. So, hey, until next time, I can't wait to, you know, be back in that little courtyard. If you guys ever need a musician, I've been playing out for a long time. So,
Yeah,
all of our shows got canceled. You know, it's
sure.
like, I'm with you. Thing. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time. And hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Follow Queen City Collaborative at queencitycollaborative.com. Facebook, YouTube. You can follow all of my links on my website. We'll see you guys next time.